Welcome back to the Talking Hedge. I'm Josh Kincaid, and this is your Cannabis Business Podcast. Today, we're going to look at another headset report about millennial cannabis trends, asking the question, what do they like? On the line with us is Dan Kemmis, our CBD correspondent with Good CBD Products. This report came out yesterday and goes on to say, quote, retailers are constantly trying to crack the code of millennial spending, and this is especially the case in the cannabis industry, where millennials make up a significant portion to the customer base of over 50%. Overall, the data reflects that more convenient and discreet products like vape pens, pre-rolls, they're experiencing the greatest gains in market growth. This trend suggests that millennials are more likely to seek out cannabis products for recreation and social purposes. This post examines in more detail trends in millennial spending, outlining which products are falling in and out of favor among this demographic. Popular cannabis categories for millennials: 56% of flower, 55% at pre-rolls, 26% at concentrates, and 23% at vape pens. Kind of pretty wide across the gamut here.
Well, I think it just speaks to the diversity, right, of that particular demographic. And I would add that, again, one of the things that I see a lot is also kind of an interest in the company ethos, all that stuff that's, suffice it to say, millennials seem to care more.
So for a correction with this graph, this is the number of times that each one of these categories is found in purchasing 100 items. So the average number of products per 100 baskets, you have 56 at flower, 55 at pre-rolls, 26 at concentrates, and 23 at vape pens, which is essentially the same.
So a frequency curve.
Right. And I think that's overall kind of what we're seeing in the marketplace. They don't have a high disposable income amongst millennials, but they do go out often and purchase a lot, and are probably trendsetters with concentrate. So they purchase on average about 2 items per basket, primarily flower and pre-roll. There's an average of 56 flower products and another 55 pre-rolls in a random sample of 100 millennial baskets. The least commonly bought products by millennials are the capsules, topicals, tinctures, and sublinguals, with only one of each product per basket. So 1% chance that they're going to buy something that, the Generation X or the baby boomers or older folks are buying.
That's interesting, huh? Yeah, this is the thing, right? In the end, data. You'll have your projections, you'll have things you're thinking, but when you actually get to the actual data, the crew at Headset, really useful, granular stuff that really does set you to thinking.
Yeah, case in point, we're looking at a graph, a trend analysis from 3 years ago when it first went legal in Washington. We're looking at sales of flower and pre-roll and vape pens. As flower kind of comes down, vape pens are going up, whereas pre-rolls are fairly flat. So there is a slight increase probably when infused pre-rolls came to the market. That's that one bump, and then it goes flat again. Whereas vape pens have this consistent increase, probably because with the addition of terpene flavors and higher products, you have live resin. I mean, that's increasing in sales by 300 to 400%. As it kind of has this more natural, holistic vision or perception. Whereas, again, flowers is kind of declining as other people are trying new products. So here we see that the market share for 3 prominent categories: the flower, pre-roll, vape pens. Flower is the most popular category for all generations. However, it's experienced a decline in market share among millennials. Vape pens are growing in market share, increasing from 10% 2 years ago to 22% now, slowly replacing flower demand. Pre-rolls have been stable around 12% of sales for millennials over the past 2 years. And when you look at market share trends by gender, you're going to see more, about the same for vape pens and the same for flower, whether it's male or female. Actually, they're pretty tied amongst millennials. So males make up the majority of sales across all generations. For millennials, there's similar trends among male and female consumers across categorical market share changes from last year. Vape pens have the most significant growth, from 4.7% and 4% market share increases among females and males respectively. And interestingly, the market share for flower and vape pens are inversely correlated. So as flower is decreasing at the same percentage rate that vape pens are increasing for both genders. concentrates and capsules have decreased in the market share over the past year, and there's also been millennial growth in all remaining categories. So understanding what millennials want to buy helps retailers appeal to this lucrative segment of the market. And while millennials may not have the disposable income that older demographics have, they certainly have the enthusiasm and will come to drive the markets. So maybe they're
Ongoing
trendsetters,
game.
but they're in there every single day. And so you kind of want to cater to those folks that aren't necessarily buying in bulk, but they're buying at a convenience. They may be, leaders or market trend decision makers. So it's kind of important to appease those people who are in your store almost daily.
You want to serve every customer, but in the end, right, if you've got to do a hard analysis, do I want to spend most of my energy working at the customer who, could be dead tomorrow? Or do I want to take care of the customer that's, an up and comer? Again, it's a hard analysis. And at the same time, I think you would agree that, first, try and serve everybody. And second, serve the future.
So a lot of good data here, kind of looking at trends in terms of how flower is decreasing and other convenience factors, whether it's vape pens or pre-rolls, are kind of taking over to some degree with millennials. And I'm sure there's other generations that'll be following suit. You're just going to have to come back and find out for yourself. With that, we're going to roll this one up. I'm Josh Kincaid. This is the Talking Hedge. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, or don't. And I'm out.